KRQE News 13 brings you the Isleta Casino Selection Sunday Special.
Out of the Mountain West, the number 7 seed, the Lobos of New Mexico, won the Mountain West Tournament Championship.
There you go. The Lobos are headed to the big dance as the number 7 seed in the South region. Welcome to the Isleta Lobo Special. They'll be taking on the Stanford Cardinal, a 10 seed on Friday in St. Louis. Now, I'm Van Tate here with a couple of Lobos from the past. Now, from 1976 to 78, Marvin Johnson terrorized his opponents, known as Automatic, and you guys got pretty far in the tournament. And then Greg Brown, to my right here, from 1992 to 1994, one of the great Lobos, also an award for, as far as the players under 6 feet, you got a national award for that. So you guys know something about basketball, a lot about basketball. And of course, Philip McDonald is coming up later in the show, another Lobo who knows a whole lot about basketball. Gentlemen, let's just talk about this right now. Jump right in. The seed, a number 7 seed. You know, before we came out here, there were predictions, even before the Selection Sunday show, before they picked the teams, Lobos might be a 5th or 6th seed. Everybody thought they had moved up because of the victory over San Diego State, Mountain West Tournament title, their 3rd one in a row, 7 seed. What do you think? Marvin?
Yeah, well, I thought they would get a higher seed, you know, just from the other teams I saw and how they did, especially winning the tournament last night. But, I mean, we have what we have, and we move forward from there. I mean, we question for a little bit, then just get ready for the next game. I mean, like we did in the playoffs. We got caught looking forward to the next game. We were supposed to play UCLA. So I would say just handle their business. It's done. They've been chosen. It's like a bad call in the game. You get a bad call, you move on. They got a bad call, and they just move on. Yeah, get ready to play the game.
Greg, you got a different opinion.
Well, I think Lobo fans were expecting a higher seed, but I think that the other conferences had a little tougher competition. The ACC, the Big East, and the teams like Kansas, Iowa State, Baylor. I mean, those are some tough teams. So I think number 7, I think was a good choice by the selection committee.
Okay, well, let's talk about the matchup. You got Stanford out of the Pac-12 now.
Like I said, they just get ready to go play Stanford and forget about who they may play next, and they'll handle their business.
I haven't got a chance to see Stanford, but just hearing what you're saying about the size of Stanford and matching up with our two-headed monster, that's going to be tough for us. I don't know what the guard play is like. I think, you know, Kendall Williams is one of the top 10-point guards in the country.
You know, not just Kendall. Everybody's going to have to be ready to play. The bench got to be ready to play. I mean, you never know about an injury or whatever. Everybody's going to have to contribute. I mean, this is the big dance, as they say. So, you know. I
mean, defensively, you know, Coach Neal does a good job, you know, coaching defense. We limit our opponents most of the time to one shot. And so if they're going to spread us out, you know, I mean, you just close out on the shooters.
Right.
They can become drivers. We got 2 big men down there. We got shot blocker down there. So I would say just close out on the shooters, unlike what happened last year against Harvard, and make them drivers. And then let our big man Kirk go down there and make them alter their shots.
Okay, now as we look at the bracket, we see if they are to win, there's a possibility they could meet Kansas again, because I don't think Eastern Kentucky is going to beat Kansas, because Eastern Kentucky is the other side of that, playing Kansas. What do you say to that?
Oh, wait, this is the NCAA tournament. I mean, how many big teams have gotten upset by 15 seeds?
Also, what is it?
So I'm saying it could happen. Who knows? But, you know, like I say, forget about Kansas. They should just worry about Stanford right now, and then get ready for whoever, you know, when they win that game, then think about Kansas or whoever wins that.
Yeah, Marvin makes a good point. I mean, you know, they need to focus on Stanford, but of course, as fans, we all looking ahead.
Let us do that. Let us look ahead.
Yeah, we all looking ahead to see that Kansas matchup, you know, that rematch.
That's right.
And so, you know, I'm kind of excited about that. And their big man is out for the season. I think that's good for us because he killed us the last game, you know, the big man for Kansas. What's his name?
Embiid.
Yeah. So he's pretty tough.
Well, you take that into consideration, say they're going to meet Kansas. I think it's a different Kansas team, and it's a different Lobo team than when they met the first time.
Yeah, but I think if the Lobos just focus on their game and not to worry much about what
the other people
are doing, play their game, make the other team play their game. That's who's going to win the game. Whoever plays at whoever tempo and whoever style. If the other team gets to try to play in the other team's style, then we're going to be in trouble.
Right, not make anybody else worry and just do what you're
just handle your business, do what you do best, and make them adjust.
Kansas is going to be tough. I mean, you know, they got future NBA players. You know, Wiggins. I enjoy watching Wiggins play. And so, you know, Marvin is right again, but other players need to step it up. If we get a chance to play Kansas, other players, people coming off the bench are going to have to step it up.
You can't have a zero performance from the bench like against Boise State.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody's going to have to step it up. We're going to have to
right.
get something from Greenwood, and we're going to have to get something from Delaney, and we're going to have to get something from Baynard and some of those other guys that come off the bench because they scout hard for these games. They got time to prepare for you.
Right.
So somebody's going to have to step it up.
All right, speaking of step it, what's that now?
You know, I would say, you know, in the last 2 or 3 years, we've gotten real slow starts in the NCAA tournament in the first game. And just hopefully we go out and ready to play from the gate and have a good fast start because we got behind the last 2 NCAA tournaments and played the whole game catching up.
Right, and that's what the fans want to see. And speaking of fans, News 13's Lawrence Gilligan traveled with the team to Vegas for the Mountain West tournament, but now he's back in Albuquerque talking to fans about where the team fell in the NCAA tournament. He's live at Spectators in the Heights. Lawrence, what up?
Yeah, you know, Van, hanging out here at Spectators where some Lobo fans are taking in the scenery and seeing who and where the Lobos were going to play. Some fans here not too happy about their selection.
I think we were disrespected. I think we played our way up to at least a 6 seed, if not a 5. And then they sent us to the South region. That's not, you know, great for traveling. And it's not great for us. You know, I feel like we've been disrespected again.
Well, I really was hoping we'd be out west so we could get more fan attendance, but hopefully we'll get it in St. Louis.
But we beat San Diego State twice. We beat them on a neutral floor. We won the tournament. We swept. We've only lost 1 game in the last 10 games, perhaps. I think we should have had a higher seed.
Well, normally we're talking to players and asking them their opinions on the matchup, but they didn't want to hang out with the cameras. They want to stay focused for the tournament. We did, however, catch up with the players last night in Las Vegas. You can tell by the crowd, they're ready, and so are the Lobos. Hear what they had to say. Although the Lobos have dominated the Mountain West during the regular season and in the conference tournament the past few years, a deep run in the NCAA tournament has always eluded them. Senior Cameron Bairstow says winning the Mountain West tournament should hopefully give them momentum heading into the big dance.
Coming off a win in the tournament is what you want. Didn't help us last season for whatever reason, but the year before I think it did propel us.
2 years ago, the Lobos were knocked out in the 3rd round by Louisville by just 3 points, and who could forget the disappointing loss to Harvard in the 2nd round last year.
What you take from both of those years is that you don't take anything for granted, but you also don't invest too much into it. There's upsets all over the place in the tournament. It's just a matter of who goes in there with the right mindset. Timing's everything, and I think we have great timing right now, great leadership, and so we're just going to go from there.
For first-year head coach Craig Neal, he knows that the program has some business to take care of in tournament play.
You try to help them envision what you can do, and I tried to do that all year with the unfinished business, and I want them to have another shot at it. I want them to have another shot to do something that they want to do and keep advancing, and I think they understand it.
Yeah, kiss the rings, unfinished business, all those things, and you know, we did this last year, we won, and then we came back to the tournament and didn't do what we wanted to do. So we're going to enjoy it while we can, but we got bigger picture.
All right, well, you know, fans are here enjoying the March Madness. I know I'm enjoying March Madness. I can't wait. Lobos ready to dance on Friday, Van. I know you're pretty pumped too. Back to you.
All right, we'll see. Thanks, Lawrence. We've got a lot of Lobo basketball and NCAA tournament coverage on KRQE.com, including brackets you can fill out. We got a lot more to come on this Isleta Lobo Special. Up next, we'll be talking to the players about the starting lineup and what they'll bring to the tournament. Welcome back to the Isleta Lobo Special. In case you missed it, the 7th-seeded Lobos will take on 10th-seed Stanford in the first round of the tournament. They play Friday in St. Louis. Now, the Lobos returned early this morning with fans greeting them at the Albuquerque International Sunport. The Lobos signed autographs while at the airport. The team will watch the show at a private location and will not be available again for media until tomorrow. The question Lobo fans keep asking is, when we're going to the Sweet 16? That's always the question. I'm joined, of course, with Marvin Johnson, and Philip McDonald has now joined us also. Now, Marvin, you played on a team considered one of the best as far as going somewhere and making it deep, ranked 3rd in the country for a national title. And you know what? We have some tape of you, man.
I've always
Hot
wanted
pants
to
and
be
long
at
socks.
major college playing big basketball. I didn't know where, but I always that was always in me. You know, I could feel it when I was little, and I can still remember that.
All right, that's Marvin Johnson. Look at him coming out, running out, giving some props to his teammate Phil Abney, and a couple of highlights on Marvin Johnson back when they called him automatic, and he's blushing right now.
Yeah, wow.
He really got it going, and everybody remembers Marvin Johnson being a great player here with great success when the Lobos were really on a big run. And you can see that he helped design the shorts, too. those hot pants. Man, what was up with those shorts?
That's what I say now.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're talking about this game now. Let's go and move on to talking about the Lobos now. Lobo Bigs have been a big reason why the team has had so much success this season. And so Cameron Bairstow, you know, he came back to school after a runner-up finish with Team Australia in the World University Games. And, of course, he had a big time over there in Russia. And since then, he's been outstanding. How much of the success you think will be riding on the Lobo big men as far as how well they do in the tournament?
Well, I think it's going to be a team effort. But, of course, they're the focus. And they're going to have good play from them, but they're going to have good play from everybody. Kendall got to show up. You know, sometimes Kendall, that's my deal. I love Kendall as a player, but sometimes he doesn't show up. He needs to show up and show up from the jump.
Right. As far as the bigs go, Philip, what's your take on the bigs? And what about just Cameron Bairstow's play? I'm going to answer that one.
Well, his game really matured over the years. I think he's a lot smarter player, and he's a lot, bigger, and he's a lot stronger, obviously. But Cameron he stays consistent. He's been consistent this whole season, and if he stays consistent against Stanford, they have no problem at all.
All right, well, we'll have to see. Now, Alex Kirk, let's talk about him. He's the other half of the two-headed monster, and after the much talked about 1-3-1 zone from San Diego State, do you think we'll see teams trying to play that way against the Lobos in the tournament, trying to slow down the big guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. If they play a one athletic guard and a 1-3-1 zone like Poli, I think they're going to try to do that. But New Mexico did a great job against San Diego State in the championship against that 1-3-1 zone. New Mexico been great. They never make a same mistake twice. So.
All right, well, guard play is always important, and I know Marvin's been waiting for this one. You wanted to talk about Kendall Williams. I think Kendall, like he's had a great year because, I mean, when his Mountain West Player of the Year, when he was for that year, his numbers were better this year.
Oh, yeah.
But you think that sometime he may.
Oh, I mean, like in not the last San Diego, the San Diego State game in San Diego. He showed up sporadically. He showed up sporadically. It wasn't like he's talking about Cameron. He's Mr. Consistency. I think he'll have a good game, but everybody else has to show up as well. Kendall, in particular, on this stage. I mean, for him to have a future, he's going to have to really step up on this stage, a national stage, and show everybody what he got. I mean, I love him as a player. Like I said, my deal is just he's not consistent.
What about talking about Hugh Greenwood is known as the glue for the Lobo team, and he was always, you can tell when he's not in the game because things tend to get unsettled. Greenwood, now, as far as him, what do you guys think he needs to do during the tournament? Because it seems like even yesterday, he hit some big shots. When he's on and he's doing things, and he does a lot of things, they have a lot of success.
If that team is on, I would predict they're going to make it to the Sweet 16 as far as any Lobo team has ever done. If everybody show up and everybody play, I predict they're going to be Sweet 16.
Of course. I think the guards is the key. Stanford is pretty big. They're a big inside group. If our guards take care of their business, making some shots, I think it takes pressure off the bigs, making some two-pointers. But as far as the guards, hitting some threes is going to make the game a lot easier.
Now, Deshaun Delaney, he's been great. I mean, he entered the starting lineup, and you're talking about a guy who gives you something. Cleaning up, whether it's a missed shot into the glass or knocking down a three, when the Lobos need something, Deshaun seems like he's
Yeah, he's a guy that's really stepped up mid-season. He's athletic. He's an X factor for the Lobos. I think he does all the little things to win the game, and I think the Lobos need him to show up big as well, rebounding, and he's making some shots, and I like that. He's doing a good job for the Lobos.
Kind of like you back in the day, huh, Peter?
Oh, yeah, he's a role player. He comes off the bench. He's like Benny Johnson. You remember Benny Johnson? With
the microwave, man.
Oh, yeah. Off the bench. He's that kind of,
he
contributes kind of like that for the Lobos that Benny did for Detroit when they won the championships. So he gets in there. Whoever's not going, if he comes in there, he can step in their shoes and carry them until things get going. I like him as a player too.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got a point there. He can play above the rim. Now, the Lobos aren't the only one making the tournament this year. And details on who the Aggies are taking on when we come back after this break. Welcome back. New Mexico State won the WAC last night, and now they're headed to the tournament. New Mexico State is a 13 seed versus 4 seed San Diego State. They'll play Thursday in Spokane, Washington. Now, we'll be back with predictions from our former Lobos on how the Lobos will do in the tournament coming up. One more time, here's a look at the NCAA tournament bracket for the Lobo men's basketball team. They're taking on the Stanford Cardinal on Friday in St. Louis. Lobos are a 7 seed. And we want to know what you guys think as far as, okay, we looked at the bracket at the beginning, but I didn't hold you guys down to a prediction, a hard prediction, what New Mexico's fortunes are for this NCAA tournament. We know what happened last year, and everybody wants to forget the memory of Harvard.
Right.
But, well, Marvin, you go first.
Best way to forget that memory of Harvard is to go out and play a great game against Stanford. That'll be a distant memory. Like I said before, I think they have the team and the coaching staff to get to the Sweet 16. That's my prediction. So I'm giving 2 wins.
Wow. You're pretty set on that, huh?
Yeah, but they've shown me that over the course of the year.
The resilience.
If they play their game, everybody's playing their game, that's my prediction.
Greg.
I'm going to go along with Marvin. 2 wins. Take care of business against Stanford. Kendall comes up big. We got the bigs against Kansas. We pull off the upset. And then we get to the Sweet 16 and fall to Syracuse.
Now, I think I think that if they had you guys playing in the lineup, how would they do? Would they go past the Sweet 16?
We didn't get past the first round.
I mean, we went right now.
Because I thought you were start talking
twice. We didn't get past to the first round.
You talking about right now when I had those long shorts and hot pants on.
You had on the hot pants. So
oh, yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Now, you guys got a pretty good squad. You guys would add to the squad, I'm sure, but not with old legs.
Yeah, not with old legs.
I'm saying with the mentality I have now, yes, we could have got
exactly
to
with that mentality. Exactly.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here, guys. Just a reminder, our Lobo coverage doesn't end here. You can get complete coverage of the tournament on KRQE.com. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our guests.